For the first time in 12 years, the congressional district that includes most of the North Country, the fightin' 21st, is wide open. Republican Elise Stefanik is retiring from politics, at least for now. And 4 people are running to replace her, 2 in each party. The primaries are coming up on June 23rd. Early voting starts Saturday. So we're taking a closer look at each of those candidates this week. First up, Lake Placid restaurant owner Stuart Amoriell on today's Story of the Day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from Morja Wealth Management, serving the North Country for 3 generations. MorjaWM.com. Advisory services offered through Hightower Advisors, LLC. Securities are offered through Hightower Securities, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC. And Kinney Drugs, now accepting S3 Nations benefits and OTC Network Wellness benefit cards for eligible over-the-counter health items. Details at KinneyDrugs.com.
Hey, I'm David Sommerstein. It's Tuesday, June 9th. First up, SUNY's chancellor says the State University of New York system remains strong despite federal actions targeting higher education. Samuel King with the New York Public News Network reports direct state support is up by almost $500 million over the last 4 years.
SUNY Chancellor John King says the system has seen the largest amount of support in decades under Governor Kathy Hochul, and that's enabling them to maintain their mission of, quote, affordable excellence and an in-state tuition freeze at the 4-year campuses.
We had enrollment increases in every sector for the last 3 years. That's the first time we've had back-to-back-to-back enrollment increases in 15 years.
King says he's optimistic about higher education in the face of growing skepticism about its value and funding cuts at the federal level. He says those who earn college degrees still earn more in their lifetimes than those without.
So we're delivering that career value, but we're also delivering incredible economic value to the state.
King says the SUNY Reconnect program, which helps adult learners to go to community college for free, will expand to more high-demand fields and additional campuses next fall. SUNY also received a boost in money to upgrade facilities and is hoping for more funding to continue to do so in the future. In Albany, I'm Samuel King for the New York Public News Network.
Almost 20,000 soldiers are based at Fort Drum Army Base near Watertown. At any given time, thousands are completing their military service. A new program called Next Move New York hopes to keep them here in the North Country. It recently launched a new job portal. News intern Khadijah Makaji reports.
Every year, about 4,000 soldiers transition out of Fort Drum in Jefferson County. Ben Cruz, program administrator of Next Move New York, matches those veterans to jobs locally. Cruz says when service members stay in the area, they contribute to the economic growth of the North Country.
Those individuals tend to buy houses here. Economical impact. Those individuals tend to shop in our mom and pop shops restaurant. Economical impact.
He says their families also help the local schools.
Schools get funding based on headcount, so the more families we have staying here, the better it is for our community.
In March, they had over 100 individuals signed up for the job portal. Next Move New York enrolls businesses and connects them to service members for job matching. The portal helps service members find jobs they're interested in so that the work they do can be meaningful.
If they can align their skill sets, their capabilities, and experience with the right opportunity, that's what influences them where they choose their home post-military service.
Veterans and their spouses can meet with staff in person at their Watertown location or Fort Drum Military Base for assistance in the job searching process. Cruz says he hopes Next Move New York can become a pilot for job matching across New York. Khadijah Makaji, North Country Public Radio.
Hey, how about that new intern, St. Lawrence University student Khadijah Makaji? Congrats on her first story. The Democratic and Republican primaries are on June 23rd, and early voting starts this Saturday. Of the 4 candidates running for the 21st Congressional District, the one with possibly the least name recognition is Democrat Stuart Amoriell. He's a restaurant owner from Lake Placid who's running on a progressive platform. Emily Russell brings us his profile.
I meet Stuart Amoriell at his restaurant in downtown Lake Placid. It's called The Pickled Pig.
Hello.
Hello.
How are we doing?
Good to meet you.
You as well, you as well. Come on, I just got here.
This place sells jalapeno poppers, pulled pork tacos, and something called Papa Stew's BBQ brisket chili. Before I sit down with the namesake of that dish, a few customers stop in for lunch.
Absolutely, wherever you're comfortable.
Amoriell wasn't always in the restaurant business. He grew up in Maryland and later started a small tech company in the Mid-Atlantic. But when his parents moved back to the North Country, where they're both originally from, Amoriell started thinking about doing the same. About a decade ago, he says he was given an offer he couldn't refuse.
A friend of mine owned the restaurant before me, and he said, "Hey, Stu, we have a restaurant we want to sell." I came up, and the rest is history. We bought it, we moved our family up here, and this is where we raise our family.
Amoriell and his wife have 2 young daughters. Politics were never part of his plan. He's never run for public office before. But last November, that all changed. One of his employees at the Pickled Pig, who's originally from Venezuela, was stopped by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Amoriell says the employee was legally authorized to work in the U.S., but says ICE pressured the man to self-deport.
I was furious, and I'm still angry. And that is when I decided to run for Congress.
Amoriell announced his campaign from the back of a snow-covered pickup truck at John Brown Farm in Lake Placid. Along with pushing for a, quote, just and compassionate immigration policy, Amoriell has also made affordability a key focus of his campaign. He says it's just too hard for most people to build a good life in the North Country.
Housing is hard to find and ridiculously expensive, whether you're looking to buy or whether you're renting. The cost of groceries, we all understand, how much it's gone up.
Another top issue of his campaign is healthcare. Nearly 30% of people in the North Country are on Medicaid, a program whose funding was slashed last year by the Trump administration. At a recent Meet the Candidates event in St. Lawrence County, Amoriell said the federal government needs to reverse its approach and rebuild its healthcare system.
It is well past time that we have universal single-payer healthcare for every American.
I really like Stuart.
That's Darlene Fannis. She's a Democrat from Malone. She was at the event in Waddington to hear from both Amoriell and his Democratic opponent, Blake Gendebine. Fannis says she appreciates Amoriell's stance on some key issues.
Universal health care, immigration. I mean, all the hot button topics right now. I think that he's got a really good head on his shoulders, and I think that he can make it happen.
But Amoriell is facing an uphill battle. He's only collected about $12,000 in contributions and has spent nearly $100,000 of his own money. Plus, he's only been campaigning for about 7 months. Meanwhile, Gendebine has been campaigning for more than twice as long and has raised $4.6 million. Last spring, he was endorsed by every Democratic chair when he was set to run in the special election that never ended up happening. President Trump withdrew Congresswoman Elise Stefanik's nomination to be UN ambassador, so she decided to stay in office through the end of this term. Jay Belanca is the chair of the Washington County Democratic Committee, which has again endorsed Gendebine. Belanca doesn't hold back when asked about Stuart Amoriell.
In my opinion, he's eminently unqualified to be a congressman. I don't know why he's running. He's not from the North Country. He is, I'd call a carpetbagger.
But Sue Abbott-Jones, a Democrat from Saranac Lake, thinks her party is misguided in its support for Gendebine, who has taken mostly middle-of-the-road positions. She points to the last 3 Democrats who challenged Stefanik. They took moderate stances on issues like gun control and the economy. They all lost by double-digit margins.
The past 3 candidates especially have had this thing that we have to be moderate. We have to be moderate. And they're not looking around them.
This critique is one that Democrats nationwide have been grappling with since President Trump's resounding win in 2024. What kind of Democrat is better positioned to beat Republicans in November? Progressive candidates have thrived in races from New York City to Montana, but voters in a hotly contested New Jersey district recently backed a more moderate establishment candidate. In northern New York, Stuart Amoriell thinks that getting progressive voters fired up now and through November could help flip the district.
We see time and again that we cannot take their vote for granted. If they are not motivated, they just simply will not show up. So we really can win this, but we need somebody that does not run from our positions, but runs on our positions.
Amoriell isn't running on a third-party line, so if he loses the primary, he's out of the race. He says he will endorse Blake Gendebine if Gendebine beats him on June 23rd. For WAMC and North Country Public Radio, I'm Emily Russell in Lake Placid.
Music today by Michael Farley of Canton and Gretchen Kohler and Daniel Kelly of Potsdam. I'm David Sommerstein, North Country Public Radio.